Did you see that? That's just a sampling of one of the musicians that I have admired for quite some time. He and his band have graced the first coast of Florida and have played throughout the southeastern United States at every music festival and club that you can imagine. Reggie Dantler is with us today. Thanks for joining us, Reggie.
No problem, Mr. Fred. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, and just call me Fred.
Okay.
we're, we're both of the same basic age group here. Tell me
All
a
right.
bit. Tell me a bit about the band, the Special Formula Band. How did it come to be? And what kind of music do you guys basically play?
Well, the band plays R&B, old school funk, Southern soul. Every now and then we go into a rock and roll thing. Every now and then, I go into my Prince or my Eddie Van Halen stuff. I'll do. But the band actually started in 2010. I was retired actually. I retired from the music business because I was frustrated with the music business. And but I've always been a person that gives back all the time. So a friend of mine, Russell Brown, came and got me and wanted me to go out and help some young guys set up a recording studio over there on Sutel Drive at the Shops and Strip. So I went by there, started working, setting up the studio, and talking with the guys. And the guys were pretty serious about what they were doing. And, they reminded me of myself, in my younger years, because whatever I did it to the fullest of my potential. I didn't play with it. So they reminded me so much of myself. I started working with them in the studio. And then they said they wanted to put a band together. I said, okay, well, no problem. That's easy for me. So I called in a couple of friends of mine that, I knew from Rip Band days back in the day with me. And Russell had a band he had before that disbanded. So we took some members of that band, which was Robin Davis, the bass player, which is still with me today. Ernest Davis, which is a trombone player, he's still with me today. Julius Collins is still with us. And pretty much everybody else is gone, but we regrouped since then. But and we just started from there. Did all the funk festivals all over the country. Saw a festival in Orlando. Did the Apopka International Jazz Festival. We did the New Orleans Jazz Festival with Jeff Floyd. We traveled we did some stuff with Miles J. We traveled with Jeff Floyd a lot. Jeff Floyd is a Southern soul artist from Jacksonville, so we wrote a couple of songs for him as well that we put out on him. And just been enjoying life, man. We done a lot of stuff. I mean, we done stuff all over the country. We did the Classic Soul Weekend up in was it was actually in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we did that for like 3 or 4 years. With Maurice Watts and that crew up there. It was a good situation. We did it for like 3 or 4 years, and we met some of everybody. The stylistics, all the old school groups. We met Lenny Williams, and we wrote a song for to give to Lenny, but Lenny didn't. I don't think he really feeling the song. He probably feeling it now, but he didn't feel it then because it was so much like "Cause I Love You."
Mm-hmm.
But we had a great time up there, man. We had a great run. We're still going. Actually, we're still going. We put the music out, put the album out, did well.
All right. What now? Tell me a bit. How did you happen upon the guitar as your instrument of choice? How did you happen upon that?
Well, the guitar was not my instrument of choice. When I'm from Chicago. I lived in the projects on Carter's 39th and Carter's Grove in the Darrow homes. And as a young kid, I was always into music because my mother used to know the style of the Shy and all those guys used to rehearse, in our area all the time. So the artistics, one of the guys from the artistics, his brother name was Donald. And he would come by the house and he would always put his guitar in the closet. I never understood why. But anyway, I played drums back then. I played drums because my mother and my auntie used to dance at the Burning Spear and Cotton Club. A lot of clubs around Chicago, they would go in, they would do African dancing, and they would open for all the Motown artists that come through Chicago. So me and my cousin Michael Carter, His mother was Sylvia. They were my mother and they weren't actually sisters, but they were close enough to be sisters. So Michael spent a lot of time with us at the house, and we would always, we always had conga drums all the time. Conga drums was in the house before anything else was in the house. So me and Mike grew up watching my mother, her dance troupe, which was the dance sets, and they were in Chicago. And I think that organization is still going on, but none of the ladies that's in it now are original.
Hmm.
But they used to rehearse at the house, and so we got a chance to see their show before they did their show. And the drummers we had two conga drummers. They used to get drunk a lot, and we used to laugh at them because we sit at the top of my bunk bed just watching rehearse. So we knew everything they did. So we watched them, and when we get up in the morning, we played exactly what they played. And my mother was like, "When did y'all hear it?" I said, "Well, y'all were dancing. We was watching, and we were listening." So the opportunity came where the drummers didn't show up for one of their gigs one night. So they came and got us out of the bed. Me and Michael went to the Burning Spear and they put us behind the curtain so nobody knew who was playing. They did that for, oh God, at least 9 or 10 shows they did that.
Really?
And you hear all these thunderous drums parts coming from behind the stage, but you never knew who it was. And one day, somebody pulled the curtain. And everybody like, that I know them little boys wasn't back there playing all that stuff. I just heard them play. We couldn't have been no more than 7, maybe. I think Michael had to be like 7. I think I was maybe 9 or 10, and we killed it. And so
Right.
from that's what from I started playing drum sets. Then I put a band together in the projects, and a friend of mine that plays with he played with Earth, Wind, Fire for a long time. Michael Harris, a trumpet player.
Hmm.
If you go back and look on his album, he lived right about 4 doors down from me. So he was one of my inspirations to put the band together. So I played drums, and we had a guitar player, a guy named Marshall played guitar. And we just sat in the house and jammed. And then, well, you know what? My mother's friend Donna used to bring the guitar in there, and I go in there and play it. So this was a Joe Jackson moment for me because I was playing the guitar one day and broke the string. I put it back in the closet like nothing ever happened. So he came and got it, went to do a gig, took it out of the case, the string was broken. So they knew I did it, but I did not. But that was my love for guitar because I would take the guitar every night and just play,
Right.
just play. Whatever I heard on the radio, I played it.
So you're
Whatever I
self-taught? So you're self-taught?
Yeah, mostly yes, but when I was young, when I was in Chicago, the school called Holy Angels Catholic School, my mother would take me over, took me to that school, and for some reason, this nun took a notion to me, and she played a box guitar. So I guess to keep anybody from seeing what she was doing for me, she would take me up in the bell tower, and we would just work on guitar parts. So she showed me all these country songs, and all these gospel songs that she knew on guitar. She showed it to me one day. I go home. Next day, I played it for her. She's like,
Wow.
wow. She couldn't believe it. And that's what, and I would sit there and watch. My grandmother would always say I would sit home. They put a record on. I would sit there and watch the record play. Just watch it go around and around and around. I would not touch it. I just watch it. When it stopped, it rewind. I had to hit the arm pick up and go back and sit back down on it. I sit there and watch it for hours. She said I never would touch it. She said one day they came home and who was that? I can't remember the artist because it's been so long ago. But they came home and I was playing the whole song and singing the whole song.
My. Who's
And they
the
never.
so how did we get the migration from Chicago down to Florida?
Well, my stepfather, William Dantler, was in the Navy. See, that's where my actual name is Jackson. Reginald
Ah,
Maurice Jackson.
ah,
My father's name was Taurus White, but my stepfather's name was William Dantler Jr. So they adopted me, I think, in '61. I found 2 birth certificates. One had 56, which is my actual year of birth. And I found another one, 61. I think that's when they got married and he adopted me then.
hmm.
So he was in the military, he was in the Navy. He retired Navy, actually. Um, and that's the only father I actually really knew besides my Uncle Carl. That's the only two men I've really had in my life that were men to me, that I respected until I got older. Then I found out what respect was all about. And that blew out the window. But we moved from Chicago. I got in a lot of trouble in Chicago, because I was running in the gangs in Chicago like everybody does. And they had to get me out of there. So they shipped me from Chicago all the way to Key West, Florida. I stayed in Key West for probably maybe a year. Didn't understand it because nobody down there spoke English then.
Ah.
I was like, I didn't know where I was. I said, the Twilight Zone was on, so I figured that's where I was. In the Twilight Zone, because I'm seeing, it looked like white guys riding around on bicycles, but they were speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
Only person I know speaking Spanish was Ricky Ricardo at the time.
Mm.
So I was just dumbfounded. But me and the guy who I met down there, we got to be pretty good friends, and his father was in the Navy as well. So before he left, he showed me how to snorkel down there, dive down there, which something I would have never been able to do in Chicago. Gave me his little boat before he left. He gave it to me. I used to go out on the boat, snorkel, and go down and look around at the reefs and all kind of stuff down there. Then they shipped us from there to Dahlgren, Virginia, which I've never experienced white folks.
Ah.
Never. Never. In Chicago, there were no white folks in my school. All the time I seen white folks was passing by the street. And when they see us, they lock the doors.
History lessons. History lessons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I never knew, I didn't miss a lot, but I learned a lot. I kind of started putting the pieces together as I got older with it. And I was in Virginia for probably maybe 2 years. And then we left there. He got transferred out of there. Got in a lot of trouble in Virginia as well. And then we moved to Jacksonville, Florida. We moved here. I didn't know that we had family here. So I had a cousin that lives here, Sheila Williams, and her grandmother and I were living here. So I got pretty close with them. But we lived on the base in Mayport. So me being promiscuous as I was an excellent pool player. I can shoot pool like nobody ever. I still can shoot good now. So I'd be in the barracks beating the guys out their money. I mean, honestly, playing pool. But you got a little, 14, 15-year-old guy here killing everybody in your barracks. They call the MPs, they come get me. I was like that guy on Barney Fife. You know what your deal said, that's just going in there. So it used to be funny to me.
You're in you got to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
You had the basic music skills between the conga drums and a guitar. And you started and you got to be a pool shark. So you said you retired from music, in 2010 or somewhere around there, but you decided to start the band. So what kind of retirement from music did you do? Were you working audio boards and that sort of thing here in Jacksonville, or what?
No, we was out with Grip Band. We started that band in the 80s.
Oh, the Grip Band. Really?
Yeah, that was us.
I love the Grip Band. Everybody loves the Grip Band, man.
Yeah, that was us.
Oh, okay.
But we did remember Teddy Washington?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, remember that TV show he had?
Yeah.
Okay, he had a TV show one day and Grip Band performed on the show. And Tony Troutman was in town that day. He happened to be on that show as well. So as soon as he seen the band, he said, I got to have them. So from that point, he sent I think it's in a van, a bus down here to get us about 3 weeks after that. We were in Atlanta working with him. We toured with him for probably about a year and a half, 2 years. And during them 2 years, we got kind of broke off from him because he was a little good guy, nice guy, good guy to work with, but he was just trying to, you got a stable full of stallions as a band and you won't turn them loose.
Yeah, that happens.
And we want to play. We didn't mind hurting bands' feelings out there. That was what we were there for. But he would not turn us loose.
Ah,
And we got tired of that, and we just left.
mm,
So we went on our own, and we started. I think we did a couple of shows with the Barcade. We did some stuff with the early part of New Edition. Did some stuff with MC Hammer, the early days when he was just coming out. We played with Roger Troutman and Zap for a lot of shows.
mm.
A lot of shows we did with them. I still work with them to this day.
Now, putting a pin in it right there. With what's happened in music these days, Special Formula, band, and quite frankly yourself, you guys are musicians. No
Yep.
real special effects, and no AI is taking the place of the musicians on stage actually playing instruments. How have but with many of today's quote performers, and the recordings that are coming out, I dare to say there's probably no band in the studio anymore. It's all synthesized and computerized. The backgrounds are pretty much there, without having a band. What's your take on today's music, and how it's being created versus, of course, what you're doing and how you were brought through the fire?
Well, the change came when they brought in computers and computer programs and stuff like that, Fruity Loops and all them early programs. And then from that point, there was no need to hire a band because all the synthesizers had everything you needed in it. And you could actually do a whole album on your keyboard and save.
So why do you think the appeal for Special Formula, and there are a couple of other groups that are out there, not a couple, but several other groups and bands that are out there. I ran into a young group that I would say runs from teenage to maybe 30 years old. They've got about 20 pieces in this band, trumpets, trombones, saxophones, guitars, all of it. I was amazed to see them at a jazz festival. I think it was over on the West Side about a year ago, and they're just fantastic. So how have you been able to keep the audience interest in what you do and keep people coming out? Because it still, when the name Special Formula is mentioned, folks, it gets them attuned and they come out.
Well, I've always been a creator. I've always changed the game all the time. You never know what I'm going to do with the band. The band half time don't know what I'm going to do. They just know that, we've been playing together so long, so I can play a particular chord, they know where I'm
Mm.
We can be playing a song, and I can go into a whole nother song. The audience won't hear it, but the band can hear it, and they know where I'm going, and they go right to where I'm going. We've just been together so long until we know.
I see.
So
Over
we
the
play
last,
all our music. We have no drum machines, no tracks, no click tracks, none of that. We play everything live.
Now, are the singers that come on and do their part, are they part of the band, or are they sort of adjuncts to it? I know you got one guy, two guys actually, but one guy in particular that sings a lot, and then you have two ladies that come out and they add a nice touch to it. Are they kind of contracted to the band, or are they part of the band?
Well, during that era, they were a part of the band. So I would have it. I was building a Broadway show. So when you get this band, you get multiple genres of music. So when you seen the show, you may see. I think you might have seen it when Tasha and Kiki and all them was in the band. So I would have one come out, do about 3 or 4 songs. Then I have her bring the next girl, which would be Tasha, out to come do a song. Then she would bring out one of the guys to do a song. So we always kept it moving. We had something for.
Okay. Who is your favorite musician? I'll give you. Who are your top 3 favorite musicians? I'll give you. Who are your top 3 favorite musicians?
Jimi Hendrix, Ernie Isley, in that order, and then Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, why am I? All right, that's okay. Reggie Dantler. Is that Reginald Maurice? Is that what I heard? Maurice?
That's it.
All right. Reginald Maurice Dantler, otherwise known as Reggie Dantler. Founder and director, is that correct, of the Special Formula Band?
Founder and overseer, yeah.
Overseer, okay. No director here, but founder and overseer of the.
Well, I mean, I'm the executive producer of the music, but we all have input on the music.
All right. And what are the two latest albums that you have out? You did some recordings.
Well, the Elements of Music is out now. And then on the singles, we have a song called Proposal. That's it's all by itself. No, it's just a single that we cut up. It's not even part of the album. It's just a song that we wanted to put out. It's nice cut. It's for the, if you want to get married, that's the song you need to play before you ask the lady to marry you. That's that song. Then we have Big Legs Woman. That's the one we wrote for Jeff Floyd. It's a single as well. Then we have Saturday Night that we wrote for Jeff Floyd. Then we have Miss Coco, which is like a sister to me. We did Juke Joint Party for her and Chocolate Drop. We did both of those songs for her.
All right. It's been a pleasure, Reggie. I've been looking forward to doing this for quite some time. And I'm looking forward to continuing to follow your efforts, both online and when I can catch and wherever you go, I tend to look up for it so I can catch a performance or two. But again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.